Today I'll be making layered Jell-O custard dessert. You'll be needing fruits of your choice. What I have here is fresh strawberries. Then I have real whipped cream in a can. Also have custard powder. I'll be fixing my custard powder according to the package direction. Lime Jell-O, orange Jell-O, and also we'll be needing plastic tumblers, about 8 ounce. You can use a 5 ounce, but 8 ounces be better because it can fit all 3 layers. Alright, I'm ready to make my first Jell-O package here. I'm going to be starting with orange. Pour your orange Jell-O in a bowl here. Then we're going to use 1 cup hot water. And we're going to go ahead and stir this until all my Jell-O is dissolved. And after dissolved, we're going to go ahead and add 1 cup cold water and let it sit aside. You cannot pour hot Jell-O one of those plastic tumblers. You have to wait till it cools off. Alright, my Jell-O is completely dissolved in my hot water, so I'm ready to pour 1 cup cold water to my Jell-O here. Then I mix well again. And I'm not gonna refrigerate this now, so I'm gonna let it set aside for about 10 to 15 minutes. My Jell-O is well cooled off now, so before I refrigerate my Jell-O, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my plastic tumblers. What I have here is 1/3 that I'm gonna put in my plastic tumbler. Make sure your measurement is correct because you have to fit in your custard and your green Jell-O also. So we're going to do 1/3 orange Jell-O. We're going to use custard in between. Then we're also going to do 1/3 lime Jell-O. So I have 1/3. I'm going to go ahead and pour it in my tumbler here. And I'm going to repeat with the rest of the tumblers and refrigerate all my tumblers. Okay, I'm ready to refrigerate my Jell-O. What I have here is 1/3 of orange Jell-O mix. And I have 8 tumblers here. I'm going to give about 30 to 45 minutes to settle. We'll come back to it. Alright, I'm ready to make my custard mix here. So what I have is my dessert spoon here, and I have 2 heaped spoons of the custard mix here. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add 4 cups of cold milk to it and mix it well. Make sure if you have any lumps, you want to take it up and smooth it down. Okay, once my custard is mixed well with my milk, make sure that, as mentioned earlier, no lumps there. You want to make sure it's nice and smooth. So I'm ready to mix 1 cup of sugar to my custard. You can add less or more sugar, depends on your taste. I'm going to mix all this together. Make sure you mix it well so your sugar blends in. Once my custard and sugar mix well, I'm going to go ahead and pour it in my saucepan here, and I'll bring it to boil. Make sure you keep on stirring and keep a close watch. You have to stir your custard constantly. Make sure that it doesn't get too thick. Just a little bit thickness to it, maybe medium. So I'm going to keep on stirring until I get the right thickness to my mix. You notice my custard's getting thicker. I'm not gonna make it too thick, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn my stove off and have it settle for a little bit, about 15 to 10 minutes before I add this to my Jell-O. That should be just perfect for my thickness right there. Okay, my Jell-O's done. If you notice, it's perfectly settled. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my custard over it. Just a little bit of amount right there. If you notice, I got my custard right there. Enough. I'm leaving enough space for my lime Jell-O. So now I'm gonna go and refrigerate this and repeat the rest of the Jell-Os the same way. If you notice, I have a lot of custard left here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and make 2 cups of custard itself dessert, just the custard itself. And pour that. And I'm going to go ahead and refrigerate this. So here I have just custard. And I'm going to refrigerate this for about 45 minutes and come back to it. Alright, we're ready to do our green Jell-O now. We're going to go ahead and pour our green Jell-O in a bowl here. Then I have 1 cup hot water. I'm going to mix this well, make sure it's dissolved before I add my 1 cup cold water to this. My gelatin is all dissolved, so I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup cold water to my mix here. Make sure you stir it perfectly here, and then we're going to set aside for about a good 10 to 15 minutes before we add this to our Jell-O. As I mentioned that the Jell-O, orange Jell-O was refrigerated, and the custard needs to be in a freezer. So that's how we can get a stronger base and it settles more better, so I can handle gelatin on top of it. So I have my custard in a freezer, not refrigerated, so it's in a freezer. If you notice, if I take one out, it's more settled, so I can go ahead and put my gelatin on top of it. So I'm going to give another about 10 minutes to it. Total amount of time I put in the freezer is about an hour. Okay, so I have my green Jell-O here, all mixed up, ready to be topped with my custard. And my custard is already ready to handle the Jell-O. So I'm going to go ahead and slowly just put on top of it, right there. Just a little bit more, and it should be perfect right there. Okay, you have to be really careful and do it very slowly because you don't want the custard to break, because custard is very soft and it doesn't have any kind of gelatin in it, so you might get a hole in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put very slowly in it, and put it back in my refrigerator to settle. Okay, so just slowly, be very careful. There you go, I got a good amount of gelatin right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and refrigerate this now for about 20 to 45 minutes. Alright, what we have here is layered Jell-O custard dessert. The first layer is orange Jell-O. It took me about 30 to 45 minutes. I refrigerated my first layer when it was settled. Then I did my custard, and my custard went into freezer to have to freeze for 45 minutes to an hour. Once my custard was settled, then I did my third layer, which is lime jello, and I put it back in a refrigerator for about 30 to 45 minutes. So now what I have is 3 layers here. I'm gonna go ahead and top it with my Cool Whip right there. I'm gonna do the next one right here. Perfect. And then we're gonna go ahead and dress it with strawberries. Do another one here, just 2 strawberries right there, back to back. Slice of strawberries, and you have a perfect dessert here for kids' party or any occasion. Look delicious. There you go. Very beautiful dessert. Enjoyable. Okay, thank you very much for watching. After I finished my 3-layer Jell-O custard dessert, I had some extra custard left. So what I did, I put some custard in my tumbler here, so I got a good filled up here. I'm gonna go ahead and put some whipped cream on top of it. There you go. And you can use any kind of fruit on top of it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just top it off with strawberry. And here you got a custard, whipped cream with strawberry dessert. Very great tasting dessert for any occasion, for kids' party. You can enjoy this anytime. Again, thank you very much for watching. We have 3-layer custard and 3-layer. Delicious combination here. Very easy to make. You have to be really patient with this. It will take over 2.5 to 3 hours, but tastes good and delicious.